Grant Avenue Composers. Let's get into it. So, last week we talked a little bit about finding an object around the house that makes you feel really, really good, reminds you of how you feel when you feel your best. We talked a little bit about making a list of the qualities you like about yourself, of the emotions that you feel when you feel at your best. And then we talked a little bit about writing a little letter to yourselves. So I want to go a little bit deeper into that this time. For me, my object is a book called The Dream Keeper and Other Poems by Langston Hughes. And it's a book that my mom used to read to me before bed quite a bit. And so when I look at that book, I don't just see the poems inside of it. I remember how I felt when my mom was reading it to me. I remember I felt safe, felt warm and loved. I felt happy, joyful, and I felt like I was right where I was supposed to be. I felt like I was in the right place. So if I take those emotions, which you'll probably notice are very close to the qualities on that list that I made of things that I like about myself, if I take those emotions and put them into a little letter to myself, it goes something like this, right? If I'm making it up, I would say, "Dear James, I hope you feel safe and warm and loved. I hope that you still have joy. And I hope that wherever you are with someone who will read to you." So that's a super short little letter, right? But now, what happens if I say that over some loops from Soundtrap, which I know y'all know about, and because I'm working with you this year, I've started to learn about Soundtrap, and I love it. It's really, really cool. So if I put those words that I just said over a loop, let's see, say put it over this loop called guitar baritone G. Let's see what that's like. So if I play it, you can hear that. "Dear James, I hope that wherever you are, you feel safe and warm and loved. I hope you still have joy, and I hope you are with someone who will read to you." Okay. That's all right, but I feel like I want to add a little bit to it. So maybe add another loop, right? Is this kind of plain? So if I add Atlantis, beauty and guitar to this baritone guitar G, let's see what that sounds like. I'm going to say the same thing over these two loops together. I like that. "Dear James, I hope that wherever you are, you feel safe and warm and loved, and that you still have joy and that you are with someone who will read to you. Beautiful poems, beautiful stories, things that make you think, things that make your imagination fly. I hope that you feel like you're in the right place." So you notice that when the music is more interesting for me, it makes my mind take flight, right? I think of other words to add. So play around with the loops. Let them help you get into a good space for improvising, for making up words, making up phrases, and just go with that. Just talk over it, right? Now, I'm going to turn you all over to Tracy Chapman, who's going to sing her song Cold Feet, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that and about some more things to do with writing your own songs after she's done. All right.
Inspired at his young age, small size near his mind. For every copper penny clover he would find, make a wish for better days. The end of hard times for no more cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet. His clothes were always clean, his face was always scrubbed. There was food on the table, enough to fill him up. His house was full of life, his house was full of love. But when winter days arrived, there was never money enough to shut his cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet. He grew up to be a worker, determined to succeed. Made a life for himself, free from worldly wants or needs. With nobody to share the life, he made nobody to keep him warm. At night when he'd go to sleep, he'd sleep alone with his cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet. One night he walked the streets, looking to the heavens above, searching for a shooting star, a benevolent God. When a woman passing by brushed his arm, he turned and found love. He then wished for the courage to ask this stranger who she was and not have cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet. 1 year later he stood beside her, vowed I'll give you everything you want. Said I'll take some love from my heart, keep your body warm, you won't have cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet.
So you listen to Tracy sing Cold Feet. That's one of my favorite songs. I've loved that song since 2002. I know that's ancient history to y'all, but I love Tracy's voice so much, but her lyrics are just incredible. She's one of the greatest songwriters I've ever heard. And if you have the time, you should listen to the whole song later. But even though we're working a lot on lyrics for this video, and even though your homework is going to be working on your lyrics some more, I want to actually show you how the same lyrics can change their feeling based on the backing track that you decide to use. So I'm going to go to my soundtrack and I'm going to pick, let's see, I got Dark Shy Guitar Melody 5 and I've got Emotive Trap Groove C. This is going to feel and sound completely different from how Tracy sings Cold Feet. So just notice, compare and contrast how different this version sounds from the version you just heard, okay? There once was a little boy, once upon a time, who in spite of his young age and small size knew his mind. For every copper penny and clover he would find, make a wish for better days, the end of hard times for no more cold feet. Cold, 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 cold feet. You see how that feels completely different from how she does it? So, one reason you want to play around with your soundtrap loops as soon as possible is because not only can the loops help you come up with new words for your lyrics before you even start putting music to it, but also when you start coming up with your melody, which is what we'll work on next week, you'll find that these loops will inspire you to move your voice in different ways. So for your homework for this week, you find your object, you make your list of emotions or qualities you like about yourself, you write your letter to yourself, and you start saying the words of your letter over the loops that you find on Soundtrap. Don't be afraid to mix and match. Go crazy. This is your lab. and I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, go to it. See you next week.